Namaste, friends. My name is Amit Garg. Welcome to my channel, Vedic Astro Amit. Today, we'll talk about Jupiter's transit through the nakshatra of Rohini. So, this will take place from June 12th in US, June 13th in India, through August 20th. Now, everybody's talking about Jupiter's transit in Taurus, which will be from May 1st. So, that's a big, big major transit coming up, right? But in order to understand the real energy, the impact of a transit, we have to look at the nakshatra. That gives us the deeper meaning. So, all of this talk about financial abundance and growth and creativity in Taurus, that's actually happening in Rohini more than the other nakshatras. Okay, so Rohini is the heart of Taurus. Rohini is literally the middle of Taurus, and when Jupiter transits, enters Taurus on May 1st, we won't see these beneficial, effects of all this talk about the growth and nurturing and food and fertility, all of that, of course, until Jupiter enters Rohini on June 12th or 13th. So it's very important to understand this. So watch my other video, Jupiter in Kritika. That's actually Jupiter is going to enter Kritika now in a few days, and then enter Rohini. I'm sorry, Rohini in June. So you can watch that effect for the first couple of months, but then this will be the most fantastic period. And this is the first transit of Jupiter in Rohini. It'll actually become retrograde later on in the sign of Taurus and then come back to Rohini later this year. So that'll be a separate video. But this is just this first initial 2 months, the first transit of Jupiter through the nakshatra of Rohini. This is still a couple of months away, but we can plan for it. We can set up some financial projects and some things right now, set the foundation, get the ball rolling so that we can reap the benefits of this wonderful 2 months of abundance. So Rohini, so as always, we'll understand the deeper meaning of nakshatra and then the planet and then all the 12 rising signs. I'm also going to start a course on nakshatras. That's going to be, if you see here on your screen, this side, April 17th. So in less than a week, it's starting on April 17th. There'll be a very deep dive course on nakshatras. Then we have another level 1 starting on May 9th. That'll be a 24-week course. So you can join both because this level 1 will cover go in depth, planets, signs, houses, aspects, all the 12 rising signs, all of that. And then the nakshatras is a standalone course. So anybody can join, beginners as well as people who've been studying or even practicing astrology for a while. So these two courses are excellent. So you can see how we analyze or how we study a nakshatra in this video. And then you can decide if you're interested in joining the course on nakshatras or the level 1 or both. So Rohini, first of all, Rohini, the deity is Prajapati, right? So Prajapati, you can say Brahma, the creator. So Prajapati is associated with the creation process, with the fertility, with the abundance, all of that. So Rohini is a very, very, very creative nakshatra. All of these, these skills that we associate with Taurus, they are because of this deity Prajapati. Okay? So that's very important. Second thing, the Shakti of nakshatra, the Shakti of Rohini is Rohan Shakti. Again, literally, so Rohan Shakti means the power to grow, the power to create, the power to manifest things, manifest our desires. So that's the Shakti of Rohini. Okay. Now let's get into the legends and the mythology, what happened, right? So Rohini is associated with Balram, the elder brother of Krishna. Balram is known as Rohini Nandan, in other words, the son of Rohini. Okay, now Rohini was actually the foster mother of Balram. So what happened before the birth of Lord Krishna? Balram was elder brother, and so when Balram was in the belly, so basically they transferred they transferred Balram in the womb from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. So Rohini became the foster mother. So basically, this nakshatra is connected with taking care of other people, being a foster mother, literally. And if you see, so in our class, we look at the nakshatra and then apply it to the charts. So Mother Teresa has her moon in Rohini. She was the foster mother for so many children. And so that's how this energy relates. So it's a symbol of taking care of other people's children, literally, but also taking care of other people in general, and nourishing them. And so this story, this legend, this mythology also points to the behind the scene preparations for something big. So let's say you have a big project. So all the preparations you do, to initiate, to get the ball rolling, all the support, all the behind the scenes, the things that you really like, hard work you put in, that is represented by Rohini. So when Krishna was coming, before the birth of Krishna, they made all these preparations. So Balaram is supposed to protect Krishna. He's the elder brother of Krishna. So the divine energies, so they made all these preparations before Krishna was born. So that's what Rohini does. Rohini basically prepares the ground for something big. So it generally means something big is coming. And Rohini is setting the stage, making the preparations behind the scenes. Okay. Now, there's also a curse associated with Rohini, as we all know. So one thing just want to make clear, Moon is not exalted in Rohini. Moon is exalted in Kritika. I've explained in the other video. Watch the other video, Jupiter exalted in Jupiter transit through Kritika, why Moon is exalted in Kritika. Okay, so Rohini is Moon's favorite nakshatra. It's not where it's exalted. Okay, so there's a difference. A lot of people asked that question last time. So Rohini is Moon's, of course, the favorite nakshatra. And so the curse was, so what happened, of course, Moon, these 27 daughters, right? 27 nakshatras, daughters of Daksha Prajapati. They got married with Moon. So Moon was supposed to spend one night or one day and night with each nakshatra, but Rohini became his favorite. And so he spent all the time with Rohini. So all the rest of these 26 daughters, they complained to Daksh Prajapati, and he was the father. And so he cursed Moon that you will decay. Okay, so the curse, so basically decay as in lose the nectar, right? He was so proud of his good looks. And so then he started decaying, and then the story goes where he was at the verge of extinction, right? At the verge of death. Then he started chanting Mahamrityunjay mantra, and then Lord Shiva put him on his forehead on the 14th Tithi, which is the of the waning phase. So basically the lunar day before the new moon, before Amavasya, that's when Lord Shiva put Chandra, the moon, on his forehead. So that's why we see the crescent moon always on all pictures and statues of Lord Shiva. And so that's why we worship Lord Shiva on the 14th lunar day as well. Especially the waning phase of the moon. So that's the curse. So the Daksh Prajapati gave the curse, but then Lord Shiva lifted him up. So, right. So but the curse cannot be taken away completely. So that's why Lord Shiva said, okay, so you'll live, I'll save you, but the moon will wax and wane. So right, growing and shrinking, growing and shrinking. So in the chart we see what that means. Wherever moon is placed, whichever planet moon is placed with. So we see how the impact is going to be for that placement. But the curse was, because moon got possessive. Moon, he was favoring one of his wives over the other. So this attraction, this passion, running after the objects of senses, so that compelled the divinity that compelled him to lose his memory of who he is, right? So he became immersed in sort of worldly gratification. So that led to the tidal waves of growth and decay, which is the waxing and waning. So that's why the moon has phases. And so this whole story is very important, keep in mind. So that will dictate whichever house Taurus is in your chart, and once Jupiter goes through that house, we'll have to see that you are very careful in how you devote your time, how you assign your time, but also how you devote your attention, and not to have any preferences, not to have any uh, feelings of possessiveness or infatuation, basically. So that's the lesson here. Now, the symbol of Rohini is ox pulling a cart, right? So that means a lot of things. First, that ox basically that's the symbol of Taurus as well, right? The bull. So that's where the symbol of Taurus comes from, essentially from Rohini. Now that ox or the bull that represents Kamadhenu. So in a way, Rohini actually, Kamadhenu is the wish-fulfilling cow who can give us anything, grant any wish. So that's where the abundance and the growth and the fulfilling our wishes, all of that came from this. So it's Rohini literally is a Kamadhenu. It can really give us unlimited, gifts and things in our life. Now the cart, ox pulling the cart. So that's the connection is with agriculture and food and nourishment. So nourishment and nurturing, that's very, very important in Rohini. The cart, so that gives association with transportation, even like owning luxury vehicles. So that's Rohini. Rohini is all about, it's also about showing off as well, right? But any forms of transportation, especially the comfortable transportation, luxury vehicles, that is Rohini. So then again, all this, all Kamadhenu and luxury transport, this also symbolizes the beauty and the prosperity and the abundance. And then also there's another, a sort of really wonderful um, meaning of Rohini. Rohini is hemmed in between Kritika and Mrigashira, right? So Kritika on one side and then Mrigashira on the other side. So Rohini represents the balance between the heating and the cooling energies, the sun and the moon. Why? Because Kritika, the deity, is Agni, which is the fire god. That's the heating energy, the sun. Whereas Mrigashira, the deity, is Soma, the Chandra, the nectar, the cooling nectar of Chandra, of moon, the Soma, right? So that's the cooling energy, that's the moon. So essentially, Rohini is balancing this between this Kritika and Mrigashira. Okay, so there's a wonderful dance happening in Rohini, but you got to be very impartial, unbiased, not to have any preferences or favorites. That's the lesson we, based on the curse also. So that's a very fine quality of Rohini. Then astronomically, Rohini, it represents it's the red star. It's the eye of the Taurus bull. The bull is Taurus, but then eye of the bull is this star known as Aldebaran. Aldebaran is the red star. So it's very red. The red color, this represents the passion, right? So Rohini is extremely passionate. Rohini is sensual. Red color represents the sensuality. And then red is also represents fertility. Okay, the rushing blood, that's red. Now, in terms of fertility, people also associate Rohini. Literally, it means a girl having her first menstruation. Okay, uh, so it's only after basically after first menstruation, then only the girl is able to bear children. Like she's ready after that, right? On the path to bear children. Before that, she's not physically, she's not ready, right? So that's the meaning of, so Rohini sets you, prepares you, makes you fertile enough to, and then the connection with the agriculture, the cart and the ox. So nourishment and this preparation behind the scenes and making you fertile, basically creativity. So you can start creating projects, creating things, creating abundance in your life. Okay. Now, as we discussed in the beginning, Rohini is Moon's favorite nakshatra, right? So Rohini people, generally they attract too much attention of other people, right? So this may lead to jealousy in others. It could be either way, both ways. So meaning Rohini person may be jealous, but more often it's other people who are jealous of Rohini people, right? So if you have moon in your in Rohini, other women may be jealous of you. It's just like the 26 sisters, they were jealous of Rohini. So they complained to Daksh Prajapati, right? So, and also, so this can mean like overly sexual nakshatra also. And they may, in fact, one extreme is that they may even use sex for getting things that they want in life. So you got to stay away from that. But there is love for luxuries. There is, it's a very, very charismatic, uh, beautiful people, magnetic personality, a lot of passion. And with the agriculture, also love for nature, love for beauty, very sensitive and emotional and gentle and feminine and loving and caring and nurturing nakshatra. That's even as a foster mother. But creation is the big. So remember the Prajapati. Okay, so remember Mother Teresa, the foster mother, and then also remember the curse of Daksh, where it got the curse, so it's waxing and waning as a result. So be careful in what you wish for, but create big projects, big things that can help the humanity, being a foster mother. So that's Rohini. Now, Jupiter is going to be in Rohini, right? So what does that mean? We've seen in so many videos, Jupiter is expansion, Jupiter is abundance, Jupiter is blessings of the gurus, right? So literally, if you put Jupiter in Rohini, that means expansion of all of these things that we discussed. Now, this could also mean expansion on the wrong side as well, which means too much passion. Uh, you know, there may be lack of discernment, lack of, figuring out what not to cross the boundaries, the limit, right? But there'll be abundance, abundance, financial abundance, growth, Kamadhenu, the wish fulfilling cow. So these are the 2 months when wishes will be fulfilled. There'll be lots of luxury, there'll be lots of creation, manifestation of desires, abundance. Um, and people will focus on maybe even luxury goods, but then also passion. There could be too much passion, sensuality, fertility. Okay, and then so got to be careful with show off. Okay, so Rohini could also mean Jupiter in Rohini especially could mean that all of this growth, abundance, beauty especially, they may want to show off their beauty and things like that. So that could lead to jealousy and then the whole cycle. So these are the cautions, but that's the overall general results. So things we can do, like I said, a lot of cautions, you got to be careful, especially in terms of the passion and sensuality, but also show off or jealousy. Those things you got to be careful. But then good remedies would be food donation, spending time in the farms, in the garden, do yard work, agriculture. Okay, and then stay loyal to your partner and stay away from showing off things. So those are some of the cautions. So now we'll discuss all the 12 rising signs and how this transit impacts specifically you. So we're looking at the rising sign mainly, and this is based on the sidereal Vedic sidereal zodiac. Again, so if you are if you like what we discussed, the way we discussed nakshatra, the Rohini, this is just a snapshot, and then we apply this to charts. And so I'm starting a new course, 9-week course on nakshatras, deep dive. Anybody, even absolute beginners, can join that course. That you can register on my website. So now let's start one by one. We'll look at all the 12 rising signs. So this is what's happening, as I mentioned, from June 12th through August 20th. This is the first transit of Jupiter through the first pass through Rohini. It'll go over Rohini again later on this year. So that'll be different transit. The other planets will be at different spots. So we'll do a separate video for that. But as we discussed so far, the Brihaspati, that's the deity, and then the Prajapati is the deity, but Brihaspati is the Jupiter, right? So Jupiter, energy of Jupiter plus energy of Prajapati, which is the deity for Rohini, and then the curse of Daksha for Chandra, for moon. It's very important to understand that energy. So it's the heart of Taurus, right? Rohini is the heart of Taurus. A lot of abundance, fertility, creativity, and then the curse. And remember, you want to understand the energy of nakshatra to really understand any transit. So let's say Jupiter in Taurus, you got to understand the three nakshatras that constitute Taurus. The energy will be very different. Overall, yes, you can say lots of things might happen in Taurus, but again, those may not happen throughout this long transit. Jupiter stays in a sign for about a year, right? So uh, you don't expect all these results throughout that year. Then you have to dig down to the nakshatra. So now let's get started. We'll look at the first sign, Aries rising. Okay, so this is what's happening. So this is what's happening. We have Jupiter. We're talking about the transit of Jupiter in Rohini from June 12th to August 20th. And please watch the intersection to understand the real meaning of a transit. You have to look at the nakshatra placement. So for Aries rising, and this is for rising sign, and this is as per the Vedic sidereal zodiac. It's not based, we're not looking at the sun sign. We're looking at the rising sign. So for Aries rising, number one sign is Aries. Jupiter is transiting through the second house, and Jupiter for Aries rising, Jupiter is the ninth house ruler and the 12th house ruler. So this is very, fantastic placement for many things for Aries rising people. First of all, uh, second house is the food that we eat, right? So there'll be abundance and growth, and you'll have a lot of interest in agriculture, food production, the nutritional value, all of that. Your diet will be more sattvic. Uh, and spend some time doing gardening, or even literally, if you are in that kind of business, doing business as a farm, start a farm, or any kind of agriculture, right? So those things are those things will flourish. A second thing, second house is our speech. So this will lead to very gentle but expansive speech that is coming from a very deep place. You can become a guru, a leader, a teacher, a consultant, a guide, and you can talk about nourishment. You can talk about spiritual progress, and you can talk about creativity. So any of those things, so the speech, the words that you speak will come from a very deep place, and they'll actually really resonate with people. It's the sign of Taurus, nakshatra of Rohini. That is like emotional connection with people. Very even very passionate speaker. So that's what's Jupiter in the Rohini means in the second house. And then we have second house is our family wealth. Okay, so Jupiter in Taurus, in general, we say abundance, all the financial gains and all of that, but that will happen when Jupiter comes to Rohini, not so much before that, right? So this is a great time to focus on or expand your family wealth. Do some projects. Now, this is also because it's this 12th house ruler sitting in the second house. 12th house is investments. So perfect time to make some big investments to increase your family wealth, or some foreign investments. Okay, so do things with foreign people, or also involve your father. It's the ninth house lord sitting in the second house. So really great time to sit with your father or discuss with your gurus about how to improve, increase your family wealth. This is the time for accumulation, for investment. Now, ninth house and 12th house are big in terms of travel, right? So Rohini is the cart. The symbol is an ox pulling the cart. So this is a big opportunity for even like foreign travel, pilgrimage, long distance travels. And we're talking about Jupiter here. So excellent time for spiritual travel, and that will bring financial rewards, financial abundance. Okay. And this is also a good time to sort of balance your expenses and your income. Okay, Rohini represents the balance that I talked about in the intro section. And so Jupiter being the 12th Lord sitting in the second. So it's the balance between investments and donations and accumulation of wealth. Okay. So, and overall, good time to be a support, like do a lot of things behind the scenes. Behind that's Rohini. In terms of family wealth, in terms of your spiritual progress also, ninth house, 12th house, that's all about spirituality, your belief system, right? And if you are into energy healing and things like that, or past life regression, highly recommend do practice more of that. It's all the 12th house, the hidden places. Good time to go on a retreat. 12th house is ashrams and retreats. And also focus on the food supply chain, all of that. So that's the general results for Aries rising. Of course, you have to look at other placements in your chart, which dasha, mahadasha, antardasha you're ruling. But then also see uh, what's happening with respect to other transits. So watch other videos, but this is the overall result. Next is the sign of Taurus, Taurus rising we're talking about. So for Taurus rising, Jupiter will be transiting through your first house in Taurus, right? We're talking about especially the Rohini nakshatra. So all of this abundance and growth that will apply to you, yourself, you will expand. You will understand who you are. You will go deep and figure out the spiritual purpose of your life. That's Jupiter in the first house. You'll come across as a guide, as a teacher, as a guru. And then it's all basically a complete transformation in your self, discovery. Okay, so you'll discover yourself because it's the eighth lord sitting in the first house. That any eighth lord that when it comes to the first house means complete change of personality, transformation for good. But it's Jupiter in this case, and that too in Rohini nakshatra. So this is like nourishing your soul. That's Rohini, nourishment. This is like expansion of your consciousness. That's your first house with Jupiter there. Okay. Now, caution is you got to be very careful when it comes to passion, and because eighth house is passion, eighth house is also hidden secrets, right? So not to overindulge and maintain a balance in everything, because Jupiter first house really forcing you to focus on being very, very balanced in everything that you see. But for sure, this will bring lots of financial gains, opportunity to set up some new projects, be very, very creative. Okay. And 11th Lord in the first house, basically bringing the financial gains to you, to yourself, right? But be careful about any secrets or hidden stuff going on. Um, Also, good time for expanding your social network. You can be on the social media, and especially with Rahu there in the 11th house. So you can really expand your network. And that network should be expansive growth, as in not just for your own little, monetary reasons, but even like helping the humanity, helping everybody. And that should be based on some spiritual foundation, because eighth house ruler and the 12th, 11th house ruler both are same. So in general, for Taurus rising people, your social friend circle, because 11th house is ruled by Pisces, you'll have an expansive friend circle, but that will be based on deep spirituality, higher purpose. Yes, and eighth house ruler is getting involved as well. And so right now, that ruler, the eighth house ruler and the 11th house ruler, it is sitting on your head. It's going over your first house. So you got to honor that. And then uh, basically, in a nutshell, you'll develop a lot of friendship with spiritual people, with gurus, with wise people. Okay. So that's the energy. And then don't think that everything will manifest right now, but you'll do a lot of things behind the scenes. You'll set the foundation. That's Rohini. Okay. And then so yeah, so period for growth and creativity and abundance in the areas of developing social networks. in the area of change and transformation in your personality. Be careful with your desires, though. You may have excessive desires, especially like passion and stuff in relationships. But more than that, it's just like unlimited desires. 11th house, Pisces. Anyway, Taurus people have big desires. But right now, Jupiter going into Rohini, this is like the massive, it's like wish list, never-ending wish list. So make sure that it's not bad to have a good, huge wish list. Make sure that is based on some spiritual foundation. Okay. You can think big and create something big during this transit, but it should be holistic and spiritual, and with other people in mind, not just your own personal materialistic desires. Okay, so that's for the sign of Taurus. Next, we'll see the sign of Gemini, Gemini rising. Next is the sign of Gemini. So Gemini rising, this is a very, very critical transit for you in many ways. The things that Rohini represent, the thing that the Daksha's curse, all of that will be the focus. So Gemini rising, Jupiter is going to transit through your 12th house. And Jupiter rules your 7th house and your 10th house. So Jupiter is a very, very important planet for you. Now, watch the intersection. Lots of things to focus on, to ponder. Now, 12th house, first of all, straight away, clear recommendation not to overspend, not to overindulge. Do not show off. Rohini has a tendency to show off. Do not get in the trap of luxury and showing off and expenses. Now, also, especially in the department of relationships. Okay, so let's say your wife or spouse, do not buy expensive gifts just for the sake of it. That's a clear message for Gemini. 7th Lord sitting in the 12th house in Rohini, and that planet is Jupiter. So you may end up spending too much on relationships just to show off that you are rich, or just to show off that your spouse is very affluent or abundant to other people. So that will draw jealousy. Then the curse of Daksha comes into picture. But yeah, so that's the big caution. Now, this is the time for you to expand your horizons in the esoteric world. I say that for a lot of signs, but some of the signs are really, really important. I mean, here, Jupiter in the 12th house, people say, oh, Jupiter in the 12th house, lots of expenses. Yes, it could be, but you can turn it around. How? By doing those expenses voluntarily. What does that mean? By making donations. So here are the things you can do. One, make donations to priests in the foreign country. Second, make donations for any food charities. Rohini is all about the food, agriculture, nourishment. Okay. Number 3, any donations for spiritual work. Okay. Number 4, any donations for religious, not religious, the relationship related. So for example, like in India, people support marriages of young girls who are not able to afford, their parents are not able to afford the expenses of marriages. So that's a perfect remedy for this transit for you. That will bring all the abundance. That will that will put a stop on any expenses because of show off or luxury. Okay, so same thing at your work also. Jupiter is the 10th Lord going to the 12th house. You'll have a lot of opportunities to do creative projects abroad or with foreign people. Okay, but don't show off anything at your work. Don't have any jealousy at work. That is really, really important for Gemini. You may have this huge tendency of having jealousy, or other people may have jealousy from you. So basically, keep doing things behind the scenes. That's Rohini. Rohini is setting the stage. So keep doing behind the scenes. Do not show off anything. That will give you, but this is good period for expansion of your relationships, expansion of your career, expansion of your foreign contacts, and also expansion of your the abilities to like astral travel, get messages from ancestors. That's the 12th house. Okay. So that's all happening, but a very potent time to create some things in your relationship, in your career, and with respect to your 12th house. And also really good time to go on a retreat. Literally, Jupiter is sitting in Taurus, in nakshatra of Rohini, in your 12th house, just telling you directly, hey, this is the time for you to meet the gurus in ashrams or in foreign countries. So as a pilgrimage also. Okay, so that's for the sign of Gemini. Next will be Cancer. Next is the sign of Cancer. So Jupiter is going to be in the 11th house. We'll talk about specifically about the Rohini nakshatra, transit of Jupiter in Rohini, not the whole of Taurus sign. Watch the intersection to understand the meaning of this nakshatra. So this is fantastic time for Cancer people for your financial gains. So you'll see huge, abundance, prosperity, all of that. 11th house is the house of financial gains, right? So Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So Jupiter in the 11th house. So that'll give you a lot of financial wealth and abundance. It'll also give you expansion of your social network. You will make friendships with, you'll have network with people who are Jupiterian, more expansive, they're wise. Your network will be, a huge focus on spirituality because Ketu is sitting in your 3rd house, Jupiter is in your 11th house. So they're trines to each other. So your friend circle, your network, your social network will be all about spiritual people, wise people, gurus, teachers, consultants, and people who are thinking about doing big things. Expansive network will be there, but spiritual focused. Okay. Now, one caution is because 11th house is the house of desires. So when Jupiter goes there, this will expand your desires, especially for like luxury items. Now, also, you may want to show off things during this transit. That's a big, big caution for you, for Cancer people, because you're ruled by moon anyway. The Lagna Lord is the moon, very emotional planet. So Jupiter going to the 11th house may activate your desire to show off things to your friends. So do not put things on social media with pictures of your flashy new car or anything so like that. So stay away from that. Absolutely. Rohini, people say Rohini is like, show off or jealousy and all of that. That's true. But also Rohini is doing things behind the scenes, being the support, the wind beneath the wings. That is Rohini. You listen to the story in the intro section. Okay, perfect time, wonderful time to do big projects for financial gains. You can also do some big things for your work, which is like a job, a 6th house. Also for your health, start eating more nourishing food. That is Rohini. It's telling you 6th Lord is going to transit through Rohini. That means your food should become more sattvic, good, some better diet, better like health routine, exercise and things like that. Okay, and then remedy for you is big one is a donation for some health related causes. So food donation for hungry people, poor people. That's fantastic remedy for you. And then also not to have any jealousy or any issues, not ego, but more like a jealousy with your gurus, your spiritual, your superiors. That's 9th house. Okay, and then you can be like the like you can take care of other people. Their 6th house is volunteer service, helping other people, and Rohini is like the foster mother. So this is also a really wonderful placement for doing any kind of volunteer work, social work, especially taking care of other people's, family, like their children or their elders, things like that. So be a foster mother, be a caregiver. That's the idea. Be a caregiver for other people. That'll be an excellent remedy. Okay. And also good time for travel, spiritual travel, along with your friends. Like you can go on a group uh, trip uh, to some spiritual sites, right? So pilgrimage, like a group pilgrimage, that's excellent, excellent for Cancer. That's 9th house, spiritual travel sitting in the 11th house of friends and social network. Okay. Um, Good time to pay off any debts. 6th house is debts. So do not take any new loans or any new debt during this period. That's important. So basically, do things you want to grow. Be very creative in all of these things, so you'll get a lot of financial abundance. So that's for the sign of Cancer. Next, we'll see the sign of Leo. So next is the sign of Leo. For Leo, this is a very sensitive period, actually. It can be amazing. You just need to be careful and cautious about certain things we'll discuss. So Leo rising, we're specifically talking about Jupiter in Rohini, not throughout the sign of Taurus, and that to the first pass in Rohini. There'll be a second pass that we'll discuss later on this year. So Jupiter is transiting through your 10th lord, through your 10th house in the nakshatra of Rohini, and Jupiter rules your 5th house and your 8th house. Be very, very careful in your romantic relationships. There might be a lot of secrets that may come to surface. See, so you see the combination here. Let me point it out. So you have Jupiter is the 5th lord and the 8th lord, and it's sitting in the 10th house. What could that mean? See, the overall energy is we're talking about the nakshatra of Rohini, right? So listen to the intro section to understand all the mythology and the stories and the legends. And then, so what this means is there may be, romantic relationships, and there could be some secrets. Those may come to surface. They may become public. Okay, so that's the combination of 5th house, 8th house, and 10th house. So be very, very careful not to have any of these hidden stuff. Second thing, see, that's about not doing anything, that's unethical or things like that. But at the same time, not to show off your romantic relationships, not to literally, like, not to show off any hidden secrets that are not meant to be coming in public. So in other words, like good secrets, as in maybe you're working on some fantastic project, keep it under the wraps until it's ready, until you give birth to it completely. If it's ready, yes, I mean, of course, you have to bring it out to the world. But if there are like projects, a lot of deals that you're working on, a lot of partnerships you're working on, maybe you're managing other people's money, that's 8th house. Do not bring it to the surface, to the public eye, because that may draw jealousy. That's Rohini. Okay, so that's how you want to interpret this, and that's how we learn the nakshatras in my courses. There's a course on nakshatra starting on April 17th. So check out my website and join if you like. But then also, 5th house is your creativity. So what better time can there be to be extremely creative? Rohini is the nakshatra of creativity. 5th house ruler represents creativity. And then bring those ideas to the world. And overall, of course, good time for expansion of your career. This will give you name and fame, right? So, but make sure that's not like that's just happening. That's taking due course of time. That's not like you're not bringing things out to the public voluntarily that don't need to be. Okay, this will bring a lot of change and transformation for you for good. 8th house ruler, a lot of you'll see a lot of abundance, and then your connection with your children will improve, and they will bring prosperity to you. Perfect time to involve your children in your career if they're not already, if it's possible. Okay, that's the 5th lord in the 10th house. Direct connection, that amazing opportunity to introduce them to what you do, or just do some work together, profession or some project or some product. Bring out some product, a creative product, that's 5th house, with your children. Could be product, something to do with spirituality, or could be something to do with finances also. Any, like a fintech product, right? So anything to do with finances, doing with your children or with your romantic partner, that may bring about change and transformation in the society. That's what this transit is showing us. Okay, but overall, really good time for you to shine bright, for good reasons though. Okay, really be careful about your passion. 8th house is hidden things and secrets and change and transformation. So your passion should be directed in the positive direction. next is the sign of Taurus. I'm sorry, Virgo. So we're talking about Jupiter in Rohini. Virgo is number 6 sign. So we're talking about the Virgo rising, not the Virgo moon. So Jupiter will be transiting through your ninth house in the sign of Taurus. And now this video is specifically for Rohini nakshatra, transit through Rohini nakshatra, not for the entire sign of Taurus. Okay. Now for Virgo rising, Jupiter is your fourth lord and your seventh lord, right? So Jupiter is transiting through your ninth house here, and it is the fourth lord and your seventh lord. So that's what's happening, and of course it's trines to Ketu also, right? So what's going on with Virgo? First of all, there will be a lot of expansion in your spiritual work. You'll gain a lot of new wisdom or old wisdom, you can say, that will surface. But you'll make a lot of spiritual progress. Throughout this transit, you will be in association with the gurus, with the teachers. You may spend a lot of time in temples. That's literally Jupiter sitting in the ninth house, means you would love to go to the temples or church or wherever you go, any religious place, not just spirituality, not just like sangha or simple meditation. This means actual, religious stuff. Okay. There'll be expansion. You may meet new gurus who are very wise. Uh, Caution about not being jealous with the gurus. Those things happen. Caution about not being jealous in your relationships. Caution about overindulgence in your relationships. Caution about overspending or show off when it comes to your relationships. Okay. And then also, this is a good time to do the projects behind the scenes, projects related to your spiritual growth, ninth house matters, or even this is fantastic time to start some higher studies. If that's what you've been planning or thinking of, this is ideal time. Jupiter in the ninth house is great for higher studies, but especially now Jupiter in Rohini during this transit. Okay. And then also, make sure no jealousy or that kind of issues with your mother. That's the fourth house ruler. But you can sort of make your place home as a retreat center. And good opportunity to expand spiritually with your partner together, improve your relationship, but also, do things together. Literally, like seventh lord going to the ninth house means both of you could be going to some guru or some retreats or this is like sangha discussions, spiritual discussions. Okay. But again, so listen to the intro section, be cautious about all those issues, the passion and the jealousy, all of that. Create something big. Also good for real estate, good for spending time at your home also. Okay. Good for pilgrimage also. Ninth house is travels, long distance travels, and good for like nourishing food, inviting your friends home and cooking nourishing food, or even agriculture, spending more time in the garden, things like that. Okay. So that's what's happening for the sign of Virgo uh, during this transit of Jupiter in the nakshatra of Rohini. Next, we'll look at the sign of Libra. And now the sign of Libra, Libra rising. Watch the intro section first, and then we're discussing. Let me clear these first. So, okay, so now for Libra rising, Jupiter is transiting through the eighth house, and Jupiter is the ruler of your third house and your sixth house. Okay, so that's what's happening. Now for Libra rising, Jupiter is an interesting planet. Basically, Jupiter is the ruler of two houses of conflict. I mean, third house is the house of courage, which and third house represents our day-to-day courage. Okay, as in how we deal with the obstacles and issues in day-to-day life. And then sixth house represents our battles and our wars, basically, right? Long-term issues, even health issues or enemies. Okay, so the Jupiter being the ruler of these two, so that's another reason. See why we look at Libra rising, we say, oh, very gentle person and this and that. One of the reasons is the key reason also is, of course, the Venus is the ruler of the Lagna, but also third ruler and the sixth house ruler, both is a very gentle uh, planet like Jupiter. It's the guru, right? So what will guru cannot be the Mars. Guru cannot be the commander in chief. Guru can give you wisdom. So guru can deal with your enemies in a very wise manner. So that's why Libra is a negotiator, right? So they try to, so in any case, so that's the energy. Now what's happening? So that planet, the ruler of the third house and the sixth house, is going through the eighth house. So that means maybe time for, some secret deals happening to deal with the conflicts of the enemies. Okay. But there'll be a lot of change and transformation happening throughout this transit. Jupiter is going through your eighth house. And eighth house is ruler by your Lagna Lord. Okay. So be careful as to not to have any, hidden secrets or also too much focus on passion. Eighth house represents passion. Secondly, not to have any jealousy when it comes to your siblings, when it comes to your colleagues at your job. That's the sixth house. But this is really wonderful time to learn some skills. That's the third house. And show creativity, Rohini. Okay, and that could be in the spiritual field or could be in any field, networking, communication. Okay, and then also see the sixth lord is going to the eighth house. Perfect remedy to do volunteer work. This is great opportunity to help other people. Okay. And this is also a really good time for financial management, money, especially of other people. So you may actually get lots of inheritance or some kind of windfall of money from other people. So if you are in the finance industry, working in this is good transit to get into financial management of any kind. So basically managing other people's money. That's the eighth house. And then also Rohini is about transportation as well. So maybe literally like energetically visiting the underworld, or not I shouldn't say underworld, or basically the other planes of existence. Like eighth house is the secrets of the universe. So go travel the universe, literally. Do not take any new loans during this period because sixth house is the loans, and then Lord sitting in the eighth house, change and transformation, hidden things. So not a good time for that. In fact, good time to pay off any loans. Okay. So, but eighth house Jupiter will give you immense creativity, and also especially in the area of healing also. If you are a healer, or if you just have some interest in any of this, you can learn healing, deep healing. And especially Ayurveda, because it connection is with the earth, agriculture, that's Rohini. Or just spend time in the garden, with the Mother Earth, doing things with farms or planting or gardening, things like that. Okay, so that's for the sign of Libra. Next will be Scorpio. For Scorpio rising, the number 8 sign, we're talking about Jupiter's transit in Rohini. Watch the intersection first. What's happening here? Jupiter is in your Jupiter is the second lord, first of all, and it's the fifth lord. Okay, and it is transiting through your seventh house. So again, also for Scorpio, this is like for Leo. Also, we discussed this is a sensitive period. You got to be careful in a lot of areas we'll discuss. First of all, obviously Jupiter is sitting in or transiting through the seventh house. So be careful in your relationships. Number one, not to have like too much passion. Scorpio anyway is the sign of passion. So Jupiter will trigger that transiting through the seventh house. Secondly, do not have any kind of jealousy. Very, very important in your relationships, jealousy with your partner or you may attract jealousy of other people. So do not show off your relationship. Be very humble and gentle and, just mind your own business. But this is a great time for expansion in your relationship, as in you'll get opportunities, you'll meet new people if you're single, or if you're in a relationship or your spouse, you guys can grow very spiritually. Amazing, fantastic opportunity to grow spiritually in your relationship, especially with Ketu in trines as well. Create something new in your relationship. Give birth to something. You can also be, act as a foster mother or parent to other children. That's the fifth lord in Rohini. And literally not if not like actually fostering, but just helping children, right? So that's the energy. Act as a mother, act as a guardian, or a helper for other people's children. Fifth lord transiting through Rohini. Listen to the stories, the legends, the mythology we discussed in the intro section. But this will bring a lot of creativity in your relationship, also with your children, also. This will foster immense, amounts of creativity. They'll become creative, some new creative projects. Also, be careful in your romantic relationships. See, this is the combination of fifth house and the seventh house, right? And the second house also. So be very careful in terms of passion in your romantic relationships and jealousy in your romantic relationships also, not just in your like with your spouse. Okay. Now, second house ruler also. So that means literally like in terms of your food and diet, this is a fantastic period. You may start some sattvic diet, eat, more the sattvic food, and then expansion in your speech. Good time to start speaking or webinars or things like that. You could also do that with your partner, seventh house, or with your children also. Involve your children in all of these activities, in your managing your family wealth. So this may actually give you a lot of family wealth, abundance. Good time for that. Also, you can, now generally, like if fifth lord is in a good nakshatra, abundance and all of that, that would be a good time for speculation. But because Rahu is sitting there as well, so I would say be careful in speculation. Okay. So that's what's happening for Scorpio. And as with other signs also, this is a good time to do some behind the scenes things, projects, or give birth to some profound things away from the public eye. That's Rohini. Yeah, so in the areas of relationship with your children, with your family wealth, all of that. So be creative and really work on some big things, big projects in these areas. And that will bring financial abundance and growth in your life. Okay, so next will be Sagittarius. Next is the sign of Sagittarius. See, for Sagittarius, Jupiter is going to be transiting through your sixth house here. And Jupiter is the ruler, it's your Lagna Lord, the first house ruler, and your fourth house ruler. Okay, so we're specifically talking about the rising sign, Sagittarius rising, and transit of Jupiter through Rohini only, not throughout the sign of Taurus. Okay, so Jupiter is obviously a very important planet for you. In fact, Jupiter is the most important planet because it's the Lagna Lord, but also fourth Lord represents our inner happiness. Fourth Lord is our mother, also represents our mother. So it becomes a very important planet. Even more, I would say Jupiter is a even more important planet for Sagittarius rising than for Pisces rising, even though both are ruled by Jupiter. But in case of Sagittarius, your fourth lord is also Jupiter. Fourth house is really, really important in the chart. That's your Sukhasthana, inner happiness. Okay. So anyway, so that important planet is transiting through your sixth house. So wherever it goes, it will give expansion in those areas. And what kind of expansion? That will be based on the energy of the Rohini nakshatra. Okay. So this is a good time, essentially, to expand You work on your health routine. First house and sixth house connection, it's all about taking care of yourself, your health. Okay, some new health routine, and then also do some volunteer work. Uh, be selfless. That's the idea. So the first lord, Lagna Lord, is the self coming in the enemy's house. That's the sixth house, right? But the sixth house is the house of giving, helping other people. So selfless service will bring financial abundance. That's the idea here. Okay. And then also helping your mother, doing things with your mother or things in your home. This could also bring expansion of your home, renovation in your home, or you may even buy some new property and things like that. But sixth house Jupiter, make sure you're not taking on some additional loans and things like that. If you cannot avoid, of course, that's fine. Just be careful. Okay. Um, you may be dealing with your enemies because wherever the first lord goes, the attention goes there. So your first lord, Lagna Lord, is going to be in the house of enemy, sixth house. So you may focus on your enemies. You may have a different perspective on your enemies, people who may be bothering you, or your own weaknesses, the Shadripus. So you may have a fresh perspective on that. Jupiter will give you wisdom to work on those weaknesses, work on your relationship with your enemies, externally, people who may be, not on the same page. Overall, be very, very creative in whatever you do because it's the Lagna Lord and Rohini is creativity. Okay. So helping other people, working on your diet or your exercise, daily routine, and then in your job also, sixth house represents your job. And so in your job, you'll shine. Your job will bring you a lot of financial abundance. You may get a raise, you may get a promotion, or you may find a new job. Okay, so this is a good period overall for material things as well, because Jupiter is aspecting your second house and your 10th house, the Earth Trikona. Okay, so that's the overall analysis for Sagittarius. Of course, we have to see the full chart and the dasha, antardasha, other transits, but this should give you a pretty good picture what things you can do. Watch the intersection also, and we're starting a course on nakshatras, and that'll be starting on April 17th in just a few days. If you're interested, let me know. The details are on the website. Okay. So the next one is Capricorn rising. So for Capricorn rising, what's happening is Jupiter is transiting through your fifth house, and Jupiter is the ruler of your third house and your 12th house, right? So basically, Jupiter will bring expansion in those areas of life. You could literally, have a child if you're that age, or if you're, planning. Jupiter in the fifth, transiting through the fifth house, especially. It will bring a lot more romantic relationships if you're single, or bet it will improve your romantic relationship if you're with somebody. A huge opportunity for creativity. Jupiter in the fifth house in Rohini, it's all about creativity, big projects, big things. Be very creative. And then also fifth house is speculation. So this could be a good opportunity so this may give you financial gains in stock market and things like that. And then also this will improve your relationship with your siblings, especially younger siblings. And lots of opportunities from foreign countries for projects and financial abundance, financial gains from dealing with foreigners, or also good time for a foreign trip, maybe with your children also, or with your siblings, younger siblings. Okay. Be careful not to have any jealousy issues with or show off with respect to your children or with respect to your romantic relationships. Children, as in, a lot of parents, not a lot, parents have tendency to brag about their children. This is not the time to do that. Your children may be genius or super intelligent, but just, keep that behind the scenes. So basically, you can also be a pillar of support for your children, like behind the scenes support for your children during this period, and then they'll flourish. Their creativity will flourish. That's another meaning of Jupiter in the fifth house in Rohini nakshatra. Okay. Good time for pilgrimage also. Long distance travel, like to a foreign country for spiritual pilgrimage. Okay. And then also develop new skills. Third house ruler in the fifth house, classic combination for learning some new skills. Especially it's such a fertile and nourishing and growth-oriented nakshatra of Rohini. This is also good time to expand your communication, like networking or marketing and sales, all of that third house, if you are into that kind of business or work. Okay. And big recommendation is any kinds of donation. It's the 12th Lord we're talking about. So any donations, especially to foreign causes, things like that will be good for you. And eventually those will bring financial abundance. Okay, so that's for the sign of Capricorn. And next we'll see the sign of Aquarius. For Aquarius rising, this is a fantastic period. Really, really, really powerful period for Aquarius. Amazing period. These 2 months, 2.5 months, and then also later on this year when Jupiter comes back to Rohini. So for Aquarius, Jupiter is the planet of money. For everybody, yes, Jupiter is abundance and all that, but literally for Aquarius, Jupiter is your second house ruler and your 11th house ruler, both the money houses. So when there is one planet ruling both the money houses, that becomes the planet for finances for you. And that planet happens to be Jupiter, even better. So this is an extremely important transit for you financially. You'll see a lot of financial abundance. There could be a lot of projects, materializing. And Jupiter is transiting through your fourth house. That means inner happiness. So all of this is not just purely financial gains. This will also be for your upliftment. This will really give you happiness. Okay. Also, maybe a time for some, home-based businesses, things like the expansion in your home, physical residence, renovation, buying a new home, or even real estate. Gains from real estate are indicated. Big time for that. Fourth house is real estate, and Jupiter is the planet that's ruling your second house and 11th house. So gains from real estate, as in new investments or maybe selling some properties, things like that. Okay. Focus on your food also. Rohini is related to agriculture. Second Lord is involved here. So you can do some projects in agriculture, farming, or on your own diet, your own food that you eat. It can be more sattvic, more spiritual. Okay, especially because Rahu is sitting there, so that may be forcing you to sort of eat, junk food or not so sattvic. But now Jupiter is in Rohini, that will change that. Big opportunity to be a speaker, start some webinar, online presence, something like that, because Rahu has been in your second house, which will give you expansive speech. But now the ruler of the second house is going through the nakshatra of Rohini. So a wonderful time to start being a speaker, start some speech, anything related to speaking publicly. And that will bring financial gains for you. Good time also for working on family wealth, expanding your family wealth. And also a great time to bring people home, your friends, for dinners together at your home, not like going out, because going out could be show off. Like that's what you don't want to do with Rohini Nakshatra. You don't want to show off anything. There could be jealousy, there could be excessive passion, excessive desires. That's one caution, not to have excessive desires for Aquarius during this period, because 11th Lord is involved. But so you don't want to show off anything either. But you can bring your friends, that is 11th house, to your home, that is your fourth house. Literally, your 11th Lord is sitting in the fourth house. Maybe, and then do some gardening together, prepare meals together. That's a wonderful remedy. Rohini is all about nourishment and food. Jupiter in the fourth house is your physical place of residence, inviting your friends and also your family. Okay, so that's second house. Okay, so that's the energy for Aquarius. Wonderful transit for you, especially. Next will be sign of Pisces. For Pisces, again, fantastic opportunity to expand your horizons. Pisces, Jupiter is your Lagna Lord, right? So first of all, expansion of yourself, expansion of who you are and understanding of yourself. Go very deep. Secondly, expansion of your career. That's the 10th Lord we're talking about. So let me mark that. So hold on one second. So this is Jupiter is transiting through your third house, and Jupiter is your Lagna Lord and your 10th Lord. So that's what's happening. So overall, a great time to shine bright. That's the 10th Lord. A great time for uh, expansion of your being, so your presence in the world. Okay. Be careful not to have any jealousy towards other people, or especially at your work also. And then third house, so Jupiter is transiting through the third house. So this will also bring expansion in your relationship with your younger siblings or in your neighbors also. So you'll have better connection with your neighbors. So spend more time, maybe hanging out or having dinners together, things like that. Also a great time for marketing, for sales, for communication, all sorts of communications. That's the third house. But also learning new skills, being very creative. Third house is rules the skills. Okay. So learning new skills could be for your profession, for your work, which is 10th house, but also it need not have any, commercial aspect to it. It could be for your self-development. That's the first lord in the third house. So learn something new, create something new for yourself to improve your personality, improve who you are, improve your connection with the world. That's really the gist of it is connection with your connection with the world. Learn some new skills, be creative, because you is first house connection with the world is, your picture in the world is 10th house, third house is the skills. And it's the planet Jupiter, which is all about spirituality. Okay, so your Lagna Lord is bringing your attention to your third house, which is learn new skills and be very creative. And then it'll come back again later on this year. But these 2 months, you can set up the foundation, and you can also do things behind the scenes. If you're not ready to bring projects to life, to reveal to the world, you can do things behind the scenes. So listen to the stories, the mythology, the legends that we discussed in the intro section. So that's overall a wonderful, expansive. It'll bring a lot of financial abundance also for Pisces. So look at your natal chart also, look at other placements, other transits, watch my other videos. Uh, and then, but this is a fantastic time, lots of positive things. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, also we are starting a new course on nakshatras starting April 17th. Details are on my website, and then another really detailed, comprehensive level 1 course that'll be a 24-week course. The nakshatras is 9-week. The level 1 is 24-week course. Open for everybody. It'll benefit the absolute beginners, but also people who've been working or practicing astrology for a while. So these are very detailed courses. Both of them are separate courses. You can join both because level 1 will go into the details of planet signs, houses, lots of charts. Will discuss famous personalities. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.